Hello and welcome to this webinar. So there is a box for you to put your comments under this video, and you may introduce yourself, tell us your name and where you are from. During the presentation, you can ask questions as well. I will answer them after the presentation part of this webinar. And for you to know, I will provide a recording of today's conference and make it available for around 1 week, so you can rewatch it later if you don't have time to take notes. Before we start, let me check if everything is going well technically wise. I will add a little comment. Okay, the comment box is a bit slow. Voila. Voila, so you can simply write in the comment box and then click on publish. All right, so let's get started. Today, I will share with you what it takes to transition from your unfulfilling job to becoming a social entrepreneur. It has been actually a while since I wanted to talk about this topic because I know there are many people around the world who dream of quitting their job and doing something really meaningful and impactful instead, but who do not have a clear business idea yet, and who are scared not to be able to make a living out of it. And this is exactly what happened to me a year ago. And I decided to quit my job. I did that last June 2014. And today I will share with you how I managed this transition. So thank you again for joining and taking the time to listen to my insights and to participate, because I hope there will be plenty of questions for me to answer at the end of this presentation. So to start, I will introduce myself. I know from the registration list that some of you already know me from Creators for Good Facebook page or through the newsletter. But I will take a very short time to explain my own journey, because it's related to what I want to share with you today. And you can all find more details on my website, creatorsforgood.com, in the About page, Learn More button. So what is important to know is that me too, I did this transition. The road that you are willing to take now, I already experienced it. I had a first professional life before. I did sales and business development during 3 years for 2 different companies. And then I decided to start my own business. I had the chance to live and work in 5 different countries. I'm French, for those who have not yet figured it out from my accent. But I've never actually worked in France. I lived and worked in South Africa, in Indonesia, in Russia, Nigeria, and Turkey, where I still live now, for my work doing business development in emerging countries. And during this first professional life as an employee, I learned a lot. I liked some aspects, and there were some aspects I liked less. And I remember very well the moment where I decided to basically take my life into my own hands. I was feeling quite depressed, to be honest with you. I was making a lot of money for my employer, since I was doing sales and business development, and this money was going into the pocket of people I did not even know the name. And but what I knew is that basically they were really only wanted to maximize their own profit and had no ambition to have an impact whatsoever in the emerging countries where I was working. And I was really wondering why I was going to work every morning at some point. I was not motivated anymore, and I wondered if there was a way for me to create value for people I care about, to do something I love, I'm good at, something where I'm useful. but I did not know what to do instead. So I was a bit lost. I was looking around LinkedIn or recruiting website and wondering if there would be a job made for me. And I rapidly identified that creating my own job, my own company would be a great solution for me since I wanted to continue to live abroad, so here in Turkey, and creating my own company seems the best way to be free. Free to live where I want, but also free to work with who I want, and free to be the person I'm meant to be. So I actually hired a coach, and during 6 months, I received training to become an entrepreneur. I decided to get help from the very beginning because I knew my time was very limited between the day I would quit my job, so the day of my last salary, and the day I would need to make money through my business. So I had a little saving to invest, but I wanted to use them properly, not to do all that for nothing. And it was through this coaching that I identified, my best talents and defined my mission, which is helping others make a difference, make the difference they want to see in the world. And that's what I'm doing now. Since September 2014, I provide strategic consulting for people all around the planet who are creating their own social business to make a good living and a difference at the same time. So I help either established social entrepreneurs who are starting to have an impact, but are not yet financially sustainable yet. So I help them analyzing what's wrong, what new strategy they should adopt to reach break-even rapidly. But I also help aspiring social entrepreneurs who want to create their own business and who need guidance at the starting phase. Today, thanks to the methodology and framework that I'm following, I know I will reach break-even in the coming months. And I mean, I just started 6 months ago. So I'm telling you that just to show you that it can go really fast. You do not need 3 years before getting a salary from your own social business, as some people say. I really want to emphasize that this is possible. Wherever you are on the planet right now, it's possible for you to find a business idea and become a social entrepreneur. And it is possible to make a living out of it. And now it's my mission. I want to prove to as many potential change makers around the world that yes, they can make a difference, have a social impact. So everything that I'm telling you during this conference, it's important that you know I lived them and tested them myself. It's not just theory. It comes from my own experiments and the ones that I see with the entrepreneurs that I help. So the main points of today's webinar are going to be where to start to design a sustainable social business, the 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to succeed when launching a social enterprise, the 3 main steps to start your social business, how internet and social medias will be your best partners when creating your social business, and lastly, what are the challenges entrepreneurs face and that can slow them down, in their business development. I hope all is clear until now. I'm really excited because I have many things to tell, and I hope you're not getting confused. Okay, I'm just checking if there are some questions already. No. So if you have questions during the presentation, you may type them down in the comment box, and I'll answer them all at the end of the presentation. So a quick intro, why is it important to design a financially sustainable social business? Because doing a work that you love and creating a social impact is good. But you cannot create a sustainable, if you cannot create a sustainable system around it, it's a big waste of time and energy. I mean, when transitioning from being an employee to being a business owner, you need to add to your work content a business vision and a marketing strategy around it. And it's so important, otherwise you'll give up after a few months or a year or so. And otherwise the social impact that you intend to have will not happen. You risk to get discouraged and say, I'm not good enough for this, but you actually are. You just need a good methodology, a roadmap to implement the right actions and have the needed results in return. So my message is that it can go quite fast. You can start having an impact and earn money through your social business rapidly to build something sustainable from the beginning. So how to do that? First, where to start? My first advice will be don't rush. You might have heard 1,000 different advices. You have read different books and blogs, and you participated to a conference and workshops locally in your city or online like today. You heard about market surveys and business plans and canvas. You wonder about like how to register a legal entity, how to launch a website, a crowdfunding campaign, lots and lots and lots of stuff. I want to tell you, don't rush. Don't try to do it all at once. You may think you will go faster, but actually you lose your focus and start many things and not finish them properly. So it will not work. There are clear steps to follow. And until you know which one and until you drew an actual plan, don't rush. May sound unusual from what you have heard, but it's really a key message I wanted to share with you today. So choose one methodology. It can be with one coach, one consultant, whatsoever, and then stick to it. Me, the methodology that I chose is to make a difference in the world, and a living at the same time, is to create a self-sustainable social business. So not an NGO, not an association, or a business that gives a percentage of its profit to a cause. No, that's not my thing. My thing is to create a business whose first priority is to have a social impact and uses sales of products and services to serve and finance that cause. So not relying on sponsorships, on grants or external investment, but relying on its organic sales. Voila. The rest, I'm not interested. There are many other ways, and I'm sure some are really impactful as well. But I focus on making this way work. That's all. So once you have found a methodology that you want to use, stop listening to the rest. Otherwise, you will lose your focus and you will not be efficient. So this is where to start. Now, I want to share with you the 3 mistakes to avoid in order to succeed when launching a social enterprise. The first mistake is if you try to solve a problem as a whole, you will fail. Nor can you solve all the problems in the world. So for your social business to work, you need to concentrate on one problem for one community and offer a valuable solution. Once it works, once you will prove basically to the world that yes, it's possible, there will be a domino effect that can actually change the world. I'll take an example that I'm sure you all know, Mohamed Yunus, the Nobel Peace Prize who invented microcredit and the father of social business in the eyes of many, did not solve the problem of poverty as a whole. He did lend money to all the poor people around the globe. He saw a problem in the poor community of Bangladesh, and he offered a solution. His Grameen Bank lended money to 1, then 2, then 3 persons, usually women, who invested in their own lives and small businesses and managed to reimburse the small loan. He grew the access of the Grameen Bank in the region and saw that the amount of money to poor people improves their life greatly, and the reimbursement rate is actually over 90%, which is better than traditional credits. So it's just a viable business. So now many other microcredit institutions have similar impacts around the world. So it's really making a big difference without Grameen Bank to necessarily have to grow. So you need to accept to have a focus, to solve one problem, one type of beneficiaries, and to prove to the rest of the world that it's possible. Me, for instance, I chose to help social entrepreneurs make money alongside with making a difference. I help with the business strategy and communication strategy, and voila, that's it. I'm not helping all the social entrepreneurs around the world, and that's okay. I'm making a difference for a few handpicked social entrepreneurs. This creates case studies for other people who have the ambition to become social entrepreneurs, but think it's too hard and wonder if they will be able to make a living. So I intend to prove them wrong and to encourage many to choose social entrepreneurship as a viable career track. So keep that in mind. You do not need to build a giant worldwide social business from the beginning. And you will still be able to make a real impactful difference. So this is one mistake that I see the most. When you start too big, you need to invest so much money, and before you have even started to test it, to try it, to validate your solution. So start at a human scale, and then only your impact can go. The second mistake is to wait for everything to be perfect. And I'm a perfectionist myself, so I know what I'm talking about. If you want to create a business and make a living out of it, you cannot spend months or years for every step along the way to be perfect. I know that starting a business is really impressive. It deals with your ego, with your image. You want to look professional. You want to offer something great. But I think it's the founder of LinkedIn who said, if you launch a product and you are not ashamed of it, it means you launched it too late. So meaning an imperfect action, like launching a website, a product, a feature, is always better than a perfect inaction. Today, this webinar is not perfect, but at least I'm, trying to make my own difference. And you have signed up from 15 different countries. I'm very, very happy about that, and that's good enough. Your company is going to evolve thanks to the feedback of your shareholders. So if you wait and work on your own on something for hours, for days, for months, because it's not ready yet, without having any outside feedback, you're missing valuable information, and you're not starting to have the impact you could, even if it's an imperfect impact. Third mistake to avoid is not to get structured help. If you try to figure things out by yourself, getting help from time to time, from here and there, you will waste so much time and energy, and you might even give up along the way. By structured help, I mean hiring a coach, hiring a consultant, joining an incubator, not just a co-working space where you can get some help, but not structured and not tailor-made to you especially. Okay, so now you're like going to think, well, Solène is trying to, sell her own consulting services. Not at all, really. Like, I don't care if you hire me or someone else, or if you join an incubator in your city. That's really fine. My point is, starting a business is like being in the dark. You're moving, you're trying to find ways, but you don't have any clue. And hiring someone who knows that what you are going through, who has even gone through these steps himself. And it's like having a flashlight, It doesn't allow you to run, but at least you can walk constantly and consistently in the right direction. And if you count on multiple free outside help, they will give you light, from time to time, but a short amount of time and in different directions. So yeah, as I mentioned before on my side, I decided to launch when I decided to launch my very first business, I put all the chances on my side. I invested in a 6 months entrepreneurship training. And this was, from the very beginning, as soon as I decided to quit my job, and before even having validated a business idea, because I needed help to do that too. So I'm not saying it's impossible to do without. However, it saves an enormous amount of time. Me, I saved months in the development of my business. I mean it. And the results I have today, I would never have them if I was not guided to get them. What I mean by getting structured help as well is to be guided in the role of entrepreneur, the role of business creator and business developer. Because having an impactful idea, in line with your talents is great. Being committed to a cause is fantastic, but if you do not have the business structure and approach to build something sustainable, it will not take off. It will take months and months of work for very little results and not enough to make it last. Okay, so let me summarize the 3 mistakes to avoid when launching a social business. The first mistake is to try to solve an enormous problem as a whole. It's impossible, and it's not necessary to still have an impact. The second mistake is waiting for ages for things to be perfect. It's unnecessary, and it's too slow to reach break-even. And the third mistake is not to get help and taking steps alone in the dark. Doesn't work either. All right, so I hope you are still following. Now, so that was basically for the introduction. Yes, now let's enter the key topic of today's webinar, which are the 3 steps for you to create a social business. The first step is to validate your ideal. Too many people rush into the idea phase, so the business model, the revenue stream, etc. To find a perfect social business idea for you, first you need to identify your key talents and choose a call that you will serve thanks to that. I know it's a difficult thing to do because you need to reflect on yourself, on your true aspirations and motivations, and sometimes they are hidden somewhere, protected by your ego, who wants to prevent you from getting hurt. But it's important to find these very special talents of yours. Me, for instance, I've always been a perfectionist. So since I'm a little girl, I have a voice in my head saying, like, I could have done this better, or he should do it this way, or this would be much better. And as you can imagine, I was kind of annoying little girl, telling everyone, oh, you should do it this way, this way. And I have been called Miss Know-it-all for quite a number of times. But on the other hand, I have great results. I had great results at school, in sport, when passing exams. I'm the valedictorian of my master's degree. I learned German, English, Japanese, and now Turkish. In my former job, I was promoted country director for Turkey, managing a local team of 5 people in just 1 year and a half after I started my career. So I'm like overperforming compared to others. And now I use these specific strengths to analyze the problem of my clients, find solutions, and draw implementation guidelines. And I love doing it because I'm really great at doing it. And this is what people call my zone of genius. Once you have identified it, everything becomes so clear. I mean, once I realized that, it became really clear I had to become a strategy consultant. And to find your zone of genius, you can take a career personality test. That's how I found mine. But you can also list the things that people often ask you to do because you're famous to be good at. For example, are you a good connector, matching people and putting them in touch? Are you a good creator, finding alternative ideas that no one thought about? Are you a good problem solver, finding solutions given the available resources? So then you need to identify the cause that you want to serve and why it's important to you in particular. Usually an ideal cause is something that makes you angry, something that you can talk for hours about without feeling bored, and something that yourself buy books about. Me, I studied sustainable development in my business school because I'm convinced government policies are too slow compared to our world's most pressing challenges, and that businesses have the power to change the world. And I hate when people think sustainable development is about planting trees by a naive group of ecologists. Because it's so much more than that. It's a new economy, it's a new era, it's how the world will collaborate better in the future. And I always go into arguments with some of my more conservative friends who do not believe one can make money and have a positive impact at the same time. So when I thought about creating my own business, it was clear that this had to be at the very center of it. Because like basically this is where I want to make a difference in the world. So it's important that you choose a cause that you 100% care about, that you are ready to fight for, because creating a business is not easy, you know. But if you work for something you really care about, it will give you tremendous strength to go through the difficulties. It will unlock some energy that you really do not have working in a classic job. So first, be clear about your idea. The second step is to identify potential clients. So in the first step, you have validated what comes from you. What are you good at? What do you care about? Now you need to identify, in the outside world, potential customers. Customers are people or entities, such as companies, institutions, who care about your cause and need a solution that you can offer. And they need it so much that they are ready to pay for it. In my case, my clients are people who think social business is an answer for them to make the world a better place. They are committed to make a difference and really want to invest themselves fully in creating social business that is sustainable over time. So basically, I don't work with people who create a little association on the side of their job, or who want 1 or 2 year experience doing something good before finding a real job. They are not my ideal clients. Why? Because they would not pay for my services, first of all, and I would not be able to give them as much value as when I work with fully committed people. So this is when your clients are beneficiaries. So you identify people who can benefit from your zone of genius, who care about your cause as your potential clients. You make a difference for them and they pay for this value. One difficulty that social business creators have is when the client and the beneficiary are different. Let's say your cause is related to people who do not have any purchasing power. Children, unemployed people, poor people, sick people, and so on. First, you need to validate if they really, really, really cannot be your clients. Many social businesses choose the base of the pyramid approach, meaning that you provide a service at a very low affordable price, but to a large amount of people. Thinking of SHE, Social Health Enterprise, who is, for example, helping girls and women to never miss a day of school or work by manufacturing and distributing locally made, low-cost menstruation pads. So their clients are poor girls and women in rural Africa who cannot afford Europe imported pads, where sometimes it costs as much as 1 day of wage. So having their period is a big handicap for them because they have to stay at home during 4 to 6 days every month. So this prevents them to go to school and to go to work. So she is providing an affordable solution for them and thus helping thousands of girls to go to school and work more consistently. Or if you don't want to go for the base of the pyramid, you can include your beneficiaries in the production part of your business, providing employment opportunities. So in this case, you need to identify clients who would be happy to purchase product from your social business because they are in need of this product, but also because they care about contributing to such cause. It can be a social bakery, a social coffee place, a social online market, a fair trade brand, etc., etc. So that your potential clients will be, delighted to shop at. Once you have identified a group of people that might potentially be your clients, they care about your cause and potentially need what you can produce with your zone of genius, go out there and get to know them. Draw a picture of what their life is. If they are individuals, you need to determine where they live, city, countryside, what they do for a living, how old are they, what kind of social class they are part of, what are their leisure, but also what problems they face and what are their challenges related to your cause. Me, for instance, my clients, my ideal clients, they are between 24 and 34 years old. So they are part of the Y generation. They live usually in big cities, in their own country or in a foreign country, but they have definitely lived abroad at some point in their life, often during their studies. They speak 2 languages or more. Sometimes I know that they have experienced couch surfing, or at least that they like collaborative approach and new forms of economy. They have done good studies, but they had hard time finding a job that they like, because the Y generation graduated during the crisis, so there was not as much job as the people, but also because they find it hard to find a job in line with their values. The pyramidal, bureaucratic companies are not their cup of tea. They believe in a brighter, more sustainable and collaborative future. However, they find it hard to implement their idea by themselves. Sometimes they lose confidence in their project, in their ability to make it happen. And I also know that it's very important to them to be financially self-sustainable. They do not want to rely on their parents or their, boyfriend, girlfriends to pay their rent. They want to make a difference, but they also want to make a living at the same time. So this is how detailed you need to be. This example was for individuals, but if your potential clients are companies, you also need to investigate. How many years have they been created? Is it a family business? How many employees do they have? What size do they ideally want to be? What's their company culture? Very process-oriented, or very, do they put creativity first? Is it a pyramidal organization where only the boss can make unplanned decisions? What's their main problems nowadays, and what's their key objective in the next 3 years? All those information, you need to get them from real people through a survey amongst what you have identified around you as potential clients. And the more you know your real potential clients, the more you will be able to fit your social business offer with what they care about. The third step for you to create your own social business is to create an offer that is irresistible to your ideal client. So when he or she sees it, it will be like, whoa, that's it, it's really what I need. It was made for me. I told you one of the big mistakes is to try to solve one big giant problem. Well, it will be so much more powerful if you design one solution to one specific problem. And those who are your potential customer will directly understand how valuable it is, because you will know them very, very well. You cannot design something that everybody will like. Do not try to be consensual and offer something average that many people will like. Do something special, something unique, something that stands out, something that might, look outside of the box to a lot of people, but really useful for your ideal clients. An irresistible offer is also a complete package that will bring a lot of value. So if you sell services, do not sell like per hour or per item. Offer a complete package that will last over time. If you sell products, you can, offer to send them a product every month. Let's say you design websites that are accessible for visually disabled people who can't see well. And your clients are companies who want to better communicate to those potential clients. And let's say that a hotel that hosts elderlies and who has adapted its facility to visually deficient people without any tricky steps or things like that, when they contact you for you to design their website, well, offer them a 1-year-long service, where you build their website, but also update it, gather feedback from customers, improve the client experience, and so on. You might wonder, yeah, well, but what if they don't want to pay for, that many stuff? That's the trick. When you offer a service instead of a product or a one-shot offer, your clients get more value, they spend more money. In our example, let's say instead of paying 2,000 euro for a website, you will flatten the investment and offer 250 euro monthly fee, only 250. So that's in 12 months, 3,000 euro income for you. It's good visibility on your financial inflow for the coming months. but it's also an easier financial effort to do for your client. So that is your irresistible offer. You solve one specific problem to your client, who is part of the greater cause that you want to make a difference in, and you offer something that you are great at, and that is affordable. So to summarize, if you investigate your ideal, what you are good at, and what cause you're willing to fight for, if you identify very precisely who can be your potential clients, and if you design an irresistible offer, I promise you, everything will go fast, and you will be able to quickly make a difference and a living at the same time. It's not me who invented this methodology. This is what I learned to do to create my own business, and I have experienced it, and I know it works. This is why I'm waking up every morning committed to move forward. I'm not blocked or afraid to fail, because I know it works and it will continue to work. And this gives me really, the courage to speak out to you and give my message to you all today in front of my computer screen. And I want you to know that it's possible, and that once you know the steps, and if someone shows you the way, it's really, really possible. So actually, I will share with you at the end of the webinar a very special consulting offer in this frame to guide you in these 3 steps. But for now, let's go back to the content. This actually leads us to communication, because you can have the best idea on earth. If your potential clients do not know about you, you won't make any difference for anyone. Sorry, I'm just having a little water. So that's the part where I will tell you how internet and social medias will be your best partners to make your social business a success. This is an incredible luck that we have to live in such an era. I mean, internet has revolutionized the way we are making business in only 2 decades. You have access to a lot more of information, and you can give a lot of information too. This means when you create a social business, solving one problem for one community, you have the power to tell the world about it, to show that it's possible and actually make a difference in the world in a very short amount of time. So what is really fantastic for social businesses to use social medias is that you can really multiply your impact quickly. You can publish content that will both attract potential customers, stakeholders, it can be customers, but also partners and investors, and raise awareness about your cause at the same time. So social media, they have emerged very recently. And this has really revolutionized how people communicate, but also how brands engage with their customers. Before, only big corporations had access to national and international exposure to promote their values and their products. Small companies and startups, they were not able to advertise and attract ideal clients to them. They had to take the phone book and call people one by one, looking for interested ones, or buy expensive table exposure in fairs and professional events. But the good news is you do not need to be salesy anymore to generate revenue for your social business. And I mean it, because I was an unhappy salesperson in the past, and one of my criteria when designing creators for good was no sales. And I learned how to promote my services on the internet without paying €1 for advertising. And all the clients I have are people who heard on me on social media. They liked what I had to say. They spend time to read my website to know if what I offer can help them. And so they auto-qualify themselves. And when I meet them through a Skype session to talk about my services, 90% of the sales process is already done, and all thanks to the internet. So of course, there is a number of elements that need to be explained and displayed in the right way. And there is a very thought-through communication strategy behind. It's not just the fact of having a website and social media's account that will bring customers to you. But once you know what you have to do, it's really, really easy. And this, again, I learned it from the coach I had, because she lived in the US, the country of social media and online marketing. And I'm implementing it with my clients, and it really works. To give you an example, my very first client came to me because she couldn't manage to engage with enough people to fund her crowdfunding campaign. So I did an audit of what she had already done. I gave my recommendation and a very detailed social media communication strategy that didn't cost her anything, with what to do, where, how. And in 1 month, she funded over 100% of her crowdfunding campaign. So she had the $7,500 that she needed to start her social business. So it's possible to get great results thanks to social medias if you know how to properly use them, and if you do not waste time doing the wrong actions, because social medias can be quite time consuming. But it's a key leverage for your social business to be financially viable and to make a difference in the world. The last topic to finish this presentation, and before I answer to your questions, I wanted to take a short moment to talk to you about what are the personal challenges that business creators face when and that can slow down basically their business development. The first personal challenge is time. When you're working in the company, you have a more or less predefined schedule with time when you work, time when you eat with your colleagues, and time when you leave the office. But when you transition from that to becoming a social entrepreneur, most people have the tendency to work much more, sometimes 50, 60 hours per week without taking time off in the weekend or taking short holiday breaks. And that's really, really wrong. The key to be successful as an entrepreneur is to be efficient. So it's not about the amount, it's about the quality. The longer hours you work, the lesser your productivity will be. And you can do in 30 hours what you can do in 50 by skipping the useless things and really focusing on being efficient when you do each task. And I want to add that an entrepreneur needs to be creative. I love creativity. That's why my business is called Creators for Good. Have you noticed that you often have the best ideas when taking a shower or before going to sleep or while running? Well, this is because creativity is more accessible when your brain is off. This means the more you work, the more you are overwhelmed with all the little details and the daily tasks, the less you will have a vision for your company, the less you will be creative to find out-of-the-box solutions to your challenges. And so the more you will work. And it's a vicious cycle, it can actually bring you as well to burnout. So be very, very, very careful with time. The second personal challenge is emotions. When you create your own social business, you take a risk for your life, for your career, and you will experience fear. You will experience, you will feel less confident all of a sudden. Some things that are quite simple, like, I don't know, writing a blog article, for instance, can take ages because your ego is protecting you from potential failures. And if you're looking for a social business idea or project nowadays, it's really hard to be confident. You find an idea and you're like, yeah, you like it. But then when you start doing some research about it on the internet, you see all those great projects and already start to wonder, oh la la, I will never, manage to do something that's great. Who am I? What's my legitimacy to do that? Those are really irrational thoughts because the world needs the special way you have of doing things. Your cause needs you. There is space for everyone, and especially when it comes to social business. There's enough challenges for all of us to solve. So working on your mindset, being able to take risk and follow through is key for your entrepreneurial adventure. So to summarize, the two personal challenges that people face when transitioning from a classic job to becoming a social entrepreneur is time and emotions, mindset. Okay? Well, time is up for the presentation part of our webinar today. It's been 45 minutes, or like 45 minutes. I'm done with the information I wanted to share with you. So now I will take a moment to answer your questions. And then I will also take a short moment to share with you consulting service that is tailor-made basically for people who want to transition and start a social business. So if you want to stay and listen to the Q&A and the offer that I will make at the end, you can. If you don't want, it's totally fine. You can leave now. I have shared with you the most important stuff already, so it's fair enough. So let's see the questions that you may have. There is a small delay between the presentation and the YouTube broadcasting. So I will take a quick moment to drink water. All right, so I'm still waiting. I think now the delay between me and the broadcasting is okay. Let's see if we have some questions. Don't be shy. No one will judge you. You can really basically share what you are facing nowadays, and if you have like some challenges that I didn't cover in the presentation, I'd be happy to answer. Okay, so I see no questions. There's two possibilities. Either there is a technical problem, or I was very, very clear and there is no question at all. So, well, that's good enough for me. Okay, so let's go to the very last part. So, because it's been almost 1 hour, and it's the time that I planned for this webinar, and I'm sure you're busy afterwards. If you still want to ask questions, you can add them below, or I will close the sound because I can hear me. Yes. So basically, I want to finish this webinar by first thanking you all for joining today. I really hope that this webinar helped you, that you have a much clearer idea of what you need to do, what actions you need to take to make your dream of creating a social business come true, to be able to make a difference in the world and a good living at the same time. So if you apply all the strategies that I shared with you today, it will work really. And for those amongst you who have decided, okay, let's do it, let's start, I want to go fast in the right direction, find a project through which I will make a difference for good, then I want to let you know that I offer a 3-month accelerator program where we will go through all those steps that I have explained today. And as a special bonus offer to those who came to the conference today and who registered, you will actually benefit from two special bonuses. The investment for the 3 months accelerator program is €950, and it includes a one-to-one strategy session with me of 45 minutes each via Skype twice per month. So I can give you clear, personalized guidance. Then you will also have tasks to complete in between each sessions to guarantee your continued progress. So during each session, we will discuss your strategy, and then I will tell you, okay, in the next 2 weeks, you need to do this, to secure that, to interview this person, to learn more about your potential client, etc. And then you will also have online access to key resources that are specially designed for social entrepreneurs. Now, in addition to those features, there are two bonuses. The first one is a professional personality test and report outlining your strengths and vigilance points so that you can build a project that is really in line with your talents and with your zone of genius. And the second bonus is a 2-hour training on web communication. So what to put on your website, on your blog, and a tailor-made social strategy. So basically, in 3 months, you will validate your idea, your zone of genius, and your cause. You will identify and get to know your potential clients. You will build an irresistible offer, and you will launch your website and an efficient online presence. This bonus, so having the professional personality test and the 2-hour online training on web communication, it's only accessible for 3 people. So if you are interested, you can apply. I will share the link where you can apply. And we will have first a free Skype session to discuss your project, and also so I can answer questions you may have about my services. And if you still want to, we will decide on a start date for your 3-month accelerator program. Voila, thank you very much for joining today. I had really a great time. I'm sorry for the question and answer session. I don't know if it was a technical problem with YouTube, or if really everything was clear and no one had questions. But I really hope it was helpful anyway. And I look forward to interacting with you again in the future. Bye-bye.